Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Art and Chat. Last year, I sketched a pumpkin, which I used to make a series of pumpkin drawings. One of the ink drawings I made was of a pumpkin ghost town. I really wanted to color this drawing last year, but I was creating a couple of different pieces at that time, and I didn't have the time to color it the way I wanted to. The drawing happened to be a pretty intricate drawing with a lot of small details. I wanted to put in the time to color this drawing the way I wanted to, and I just feel like I didn't have the time to do it then. But today is the day we're going to finally color in my pumpkin ghost town drawing. So this is your sign if you guys like to color, or if you're working on a more detailed, intricate piece. Why don't you get your pieces out and color with me, draw with me, paint with me, and let's have a nice and cozy, relaxing art session together. I purposely made this video extra long so that I could sit down and talk to you guys and we could catch up on basically seasonal topics, Halloween, fall, all that good stuff. Today, we're kind of going to bounce around on a couple of topics. So if you're looking forward to that, let's get started. I wanted to keep the original drawing intact. So I scanned that drawing into my computer, altered the size to an 8x10 paper, and lightened my original drawing because I knew I wanted to use watercolor and I didn't want the black ink to be more prominent than the colors that I was putting down. I also had to alter the picture a little bit to fit onto this size paper, which I think it's fine. The hat got slightly cut off just a little bit, but other than that, it came out perfect. When I created the original drawing, I knew that I wanted the pumpkin itself to be inspired by brownstones, but I didn't want to do the same brick look for each section of this little town. So one of the sections is inspired strictly by brownstones. It's the one with the brick. Another section is inspired by cobblestone houses, or houses that have a cobblestone face. I did another section of a dilapidated house. And then I also wanted to do a submarine or industrial looking house. So I did that one as well. And then for the last section, I decided to do maybe a Victorian / castle inspired house. And I also themed the windows and the doors based on those as well. That being said, I knew I wanted to have a strict color scheme. So I stuck mostly with shades of orange, red, and brown. In addition, I added shades of blue, burgundy, and green to add some dimension, to separate the apartments or houses, and also just to add a little bit of definition to certain areas. Do you guys remember around the holidays or different events, you would get coloring pages that you would do based on those holidays? My kindergarten and elementary school years. This totally took me back to those days. It was also therapeutic. Coloring pages can be therapeutic in their own way. The whole process of relaxing, unwinding, putting color on paper, and filling in the blanks that were made for you. But the memory of doing it when I was a kid it hit different. It was therapeutic in a different way. It made me remember when I was a kid and I would watch my mom make my costumes, help my mom make my costumes, and it was just really nice. It was kind of like taking a step down memory lane. Speaking of costumes, are you guys wearing costumes? Are you creating your costumes, buying your costumes? This year, I am not doing costumes. I am doing Halloween themed PJs, and I'm going to live in them. I love holiday themed PJs. I also decided this year I am not going to do the typical horror movie marathons that I usually do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch a horror movie, but it does mean that I am not going to do the Friday the 13th or Freddy Krueger marathons. I'm so over it this year. I don't even think I'm gonna do Halloween Town. I can't do another year of it. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do it. I feel like it's probably gonna be a more sci-fi fantasy themed marathon. I have watched some horror movies already. I have. I just don't want to do the marathon thing. I'm just over it. Is it just me? Is it anybody like, no, I can't get enough of it? But me, I just can't. What are you guys doing? Are you guys going to do a marathon? Are you going to wear your costumes while you do it? Are you not going to do it? Is anybody going to a Halloween party? Are you hosting a Halloween party? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if any of you have seen, without spoilers, Nosferatu. I want to see Nosferatu. I haven't, because when I saw the trailer, I thought, is it gonna be just another vampire movie? Is it going to be that? Because I don't think I want to waste my time. So if it was good, let me know and I will give it a go. But if it was like every other vampire Dracula movie, I need to know. I need to know not to waste my time. I recently watched for the first time The Invitation, and I liked it. I think it was a different twist on Dracula's bride. I know he wasn't Dracula, but it gave me that kind of feel. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Van Helsing, how Dracula had the three brides. But I think I liked it a little bit better. I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. Like, if I didn't know that it was actually a horror movie, it started out pretty good. I thought that it was good, like gonna be a regular movie almost. It also kind of, I think I didn't want to watch it because I thought it was gonna be like Get Out. And I felt like, how many times are you gonna do that sort of thing? But it wasn't. It was a lot more different than I thought it was. And I really, no spoilers, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I liked the ending. You thought it was over, but it wasn't over. So I like that, and I like the fact that it took a different twist on things. It was a little bit more culty than I thought it was going to be, which was different, but it did have that Get Out feel almost, but it didn't. Because they were vampires. So I thought that was a nice twist. While I was working on this, I was sipping on pumpkin spice coffee. Yes, I'm one of those people that like pumpkin spice lattes. I've changed over the years, and I can say that honestly. I no longer drink, well, that's a lie. I no longer drink multiple pumpkin spice lattes. I can get one pumpkin spice latte during pumpkin spice latte season. And then for the rest of the time, I prefer to get a pumpkin spice blend, whether it's Starbucks blend or it's another brand. And I like to make that coffee at home. And I prefer to do regular cream or no cream at all. I just feel like, for me, pumpkin spice lattes can get almost sickeningly sweet after a while. So I'm good with just one. And then after that, I'm just gonna drink pumpkin spice coffee. Because I like the taste of pumpkin spice, and I like to be able to sweeten it to my heart's desire rather than somebody else's. I don't really care for pumpkin spice syrup that much. And pumpkin spiced creamer, I've tried a lot, and it's just a no. It's just a no. And it's a no for me because it doesn't have as much spice as I want it to have. So I rather just make the coffee at home. 9 times out of 10, I do add a cinnamon stick to mine. I add as much sugar or honey and cream as I want, or as little as I want. And as I was painting this, which I believe it took me 2 sessions, possibly 3, it took me a little while because of the intricacy and the smallness of the scale. As you can see, some of these windows are like the size of a fingernail. I usually did it either early morning or around lunchtime. So I had a little cup of coffee with each session, and mostly it was because I was doing a pumpkin and it made me want pumpkin spice. So I had my fill. So are you guys pumpkin spice people, or no, you don't like it? Nasty? Let me know. as I did the windows, I kind of wanted to feed into the fact that this was a pumpkin ghost town, and I wanted to add more of that ghostly void emptiness that we think a ghost town would possibly be. So I actually added some ghost in the windows. I'm not sure if it really shows up, but I did some little sheet ghost in the windows. As I was making this, I was getting Casper vibes. I used to love to watch Casper around Halloween or anytime really. I just loved the series of Casper movies and shows and even cartoons as a kid. So I think that this little pumpkin town is my homage to Casper. Instead of watching Halloween Town, I might watch Casper. Yeah, I might put that on the list. Also on the list is definitely going to be The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I'll probably start watching them the week before Halloween and finish up watching them Halloween night. And then I definitely am watching Interview with a Vampire again. And maybe A Vampire in Brooklyn. Is that the title? A Vampire Brooklyn. A Vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah, I think that's, with Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett. I love that movie. It's so funny. I'm currently reading a vampire series. So of course, I have to do vampire movies. It coincides. I swear it does. If you guys read fantasy and just any type of book, whatever you're reading, you usually want to watch something that's similar to it. And speaking of books, I'm probably also on Halloween earlier in the day going to read some Edgar Allan Poe. It is a tradition for me. I might have mentioned this before, but I love to read Edgar Allan Poe around and on Halloween. I'm definitely going to read The Raven and probably watch The Simpsons The Raven. I think that's hilarious. It was such a good adaptation. But it also took the eeriness away from the story. The story is way more eerie and a little alarming compared to the Simpsons version. If you guys haven't read it, you have to read it. You have to read it. If you don't want to read it, I recommend that you watch the Simpsons version or you get an audiobook of it. I am also definitely going to read Telltale Heart. I have to read it. I need to read it. Every year I read that and I notice something different about the story, something new that I didn't realize. And I think that it's probably because of how kind of horrific the story is. It's so alarming, and to put it in words, it's just insane. So every year I read it, I notice something new, and I get chills every time. I don't know if there is a movie adaptation of a Telltale Heart, but if there was, I don't think I would want to see it. I think when I first read the short story, I was probably in middle school, and of course I was a bit horrified, but I didn't fully grasp what I was reading. Not until I watched several true crime stories did I actually realize after reading it again as a preteen, a teen, and then an adult that it was the subject matter that it was. And for Edgar Allan Poe at the time to be able to write such a story, I think that it was phenomenal. I think it was probably unheard of, at least in mainstream media. And I think that it was before its time, because we now see all these documentaries on true crimes, and we realize what things are or how things are and how horrific people can be. But I think that for its time, it was way before its time, and it told a truth about, I don't want to say humanity, but the crimes, how far a person could go, and the mental state of someone. I think that it was truly extraordinary in a very horrific way. I can't say it any other way than that, because the story is kind of horrific. But with that being said, I am definitely going to read it again, and I'm probably going to realize something else. So if you guys have read it, I want to know what you guys think about it. Another book that I actually haven't read, but just recently for the first time watched is, I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube. It's A Blank on the Oriental Express. If you guys know, you know. It's actually a book by Agatha Christie. And I haven't read the book, but I need to, and I'm going to. And if I can find the audiobook, I will listen to it and then follow up by going to a bookstore and buying it. I thought it was amazing. I have really been into watching older cinema lately, and that was fantastic. If the book is anything like I know that she can write compared to the movie, I know I have to get the book. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it. Agatha Christie has a way of laying things out so that all the information is right there in front of your face, and you're so busy trying to look at the information that you cannot piece it together. And I just think that's amazing. It was a really good movie, and if you guys get a chance to see it, let me know what you think of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful and blessed day. I'm AmberJade. This was Art and Chat, and I'll see you guys next time.